Bam, bam, bam. Shazam, shazam, shazam. What's happening, good people? How you guys doing out there? It's me. You know who it is. None other than your home girl, Ladosha Wright, aka Key Lolo. And look who I got over there. That's right, my BMF, the one and only, my PNC, my partner in cosmetology, the one and only, the hair oracle. You guys also know her as Cheryl Morrow. And tonight, it's going to be fire, 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 fire. I see you guys in the chat. Don't worry, y'all. Just come on in, get y'all Kool-Aid. I got me some, I have me some hot tea because it's getting cold in Cleveland. Mm-hmm.
Getting?
Yeah, I got some of that ginger crystal tea. I love that stuff. It's so good. So it's starting to get cold in here. So don't forget, drop what city you are representing in the chat, and we're going to go ahead on and get some of our homegirl Miss Rachel playing. Sister, let me do your hair. That's how it's going down. We have our very own, that's right, our very own theme song by Sister Rachel Evans. Is called Sister, Let Me Do Your Hair. And don't forget, it's available on Amazon. So let's go spend some money and buy some downloads and support Miss Rachel Evans this holiday season. So here we go. Sister, let me and Cheryl do your hair. We ain't going to mess it up. We're just going to relax it. It's cool. Here we go. It's happening. I don't know what's wrong with this thing tonight. Does it not want to play? I'm not quite sure. Let's try it again.
What is going on?
Can you hear me, Cheryl?
Of course.
You can't hear me either.
I can
but
hear
I can't
you.
hear you.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, Cheryl's gonna come back and we're gonna try it again.
I'm here.
She's like, yeah. Can you guys hear Cheryl? Let us know if you can hear Cheryl. Hold on. We're just going to wait and see.
They can hear me.
We're waiting for someone to respond in the chat. Can you guys hear Cheryl saying, check, baby, 1, 2.
Check.
You can hear both of you. Well, that's the... You know what? Why y'all messing with me? Cheryl, like, Dosha, turn your... Be quiet, hair savant. I did not have my button on, so can we try it again, Cheryl? Here we go. Sister, let me do your hair. That's still not playing. Is there a DJ in the house? That's all we want to know. Is there a DJ in the house? Will that play?
Well, what are you doing differently?
Nothing. I just hit the play button and it's not doing anything. I'm sure I did something up in here. Go ahead.
Well, it's so funny because I tried when I was wanting to come on early. My computer froze.
Uh-oh. Y'all know what that means, right? Big Brother is watching. But that's okay. That's okay, guys. We know what the theme song is, and perhaps it'll come back on next week. But because tonight we are taking on the big dogs. That's right, Hair Savant. Everybody in the chat, what's up? It's going down. We're going to be advocating. We're talking about the lie on lie. That's what this podcast is all about. We are on our 80th episode. When I tell you it's going to get juicy, it is going to get absolutely juicy this evening, okay? But before we do it, you know we always have some current events, right? So I see we have a fake a Pittsburgh Steelers fan that's in the chat. Her name is Miss Rashida Ali. So here we go. What's what we got to say to that? Oh, woo, 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 woo. That's right. The Browns spanked that wink last night. It went down right here in Cleveland, Ohio. The Browns went on ahead and beat the Pittsburgh Steelers. And let me tell you, this is like the ultimate rivalry. Pittsburgh and the Steelers. I'm looking at me, Pittsburgh and the Steelers. Be quiet. Don't laugh at me, y'all. Cheryl, stop that. You just stop it. Pittsburgh and the Browns. Sure, it is really not that funny, okay? So anywho, I'm going to move off that topic because clearly I'm not really a sports enthusiast. So I'm just going to wear my hat tonight and say, let's give it up for the Browns. She's going to say, it's all good. That's right, it's all good. Whoop, 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 okay? So we're going to give it up for the Cleveland Browns. Next up, has anybody, please tell me, has anybody been following the Andre 3000 flute? Have you heard it, Cheryl?
The what now? The
Andre 3000 says he does not want to rap anymore. So he's saying that, you know, he's too old. It's like he has nothing to rap about. So he has this new album out. Has anybody heard Andre 3000? It is like the talk. It's like everything on social media. And he's playing a flute. And so it's his newest CD. And so, I mean, or I don't know what y'all call it, download or whatever you call it. And so, so here is a skit. I had to download it. I just had to. So this actually is from Saturday Night Live, and it's actually an old skit, but someone pointed out that that they were definitely on top of it. So let me see if I can find it here. Oh wait, did I download it yet? When I tell you guys this stuff is so funny, let me see right quick. Hold on, I thought I did. Let me go over here and let me see. Did I get? Oh shoot. Oh yeah. Hold on. You guys gotta see this skit. It is the funniest thing. When you see it, you're gonna be like, why they do him like that? And so poor Andre, they're saying that he says he doesn't care what anybody says. You know, he's older, he has nothing to rap about. And so of course the older rappers are like, come on, bro. You know, you can get your rap game on, you can go ahead on the rap. But he's saying, nah, that ship has sailed. He has children, he has a colonoscopy he has to do. And so this skit right here, I hope it can upload, but if not, I will see if I could just go online and find it. So let me know in the chat if you have heard Andre 3000's. Here it is. Here we go, Cheryl. Get ready.
Get ready, because you're about to experience the world's greatest ambidextrous disco flute player. Here it is, R.J. Sizzle.
Something Nat Keenan, that he is really doing his job as a comedian, and that is the funniest skit ever. And I like Andre 3000. I did go and listen to them. It's very interesting. You know, it's soothing, and but he's Andre 3000. I mean, he likes to march to the beat of his own drum. So
I mean, what is it? It's just instrumental.
Yeah. So it's a nice. Well, I heard the flute song, so it's a nice CD. So anywho, so Andre 3000 is definitely the funniest thing happening. If you go over to TikTok or any of the reels, then you will hear all of the jokes about Andre 3000's newest musical release. And then next up, I just want to share this with you guys because tonight we are going to be talking about the lie on lie. And so Cheryl has been so kind to put together Let me see if I can just share this right quick. Present, and I'm going to share my screen. So here we go, guys. Here it is right here. There it is. So there you have it. Oh, whoops, wrong one. Where'd you go, Cheryl? Where you at? There she is right here. The relaxer advocates. So if you are a licensed professional, maybe you have a relaxer in your hair and people are, questioning you about it and you like your relaxer. Maybe you want to know more about what's happening with the relaxers. Cheryl has put together a Facebook page called the Relaxer Advocates. Go ahead, Cheryl.
We don't see it.
You don't see it?
No, you got the Scientific American up there.
Oh, let's see. Is this it right here? Can you see it now?
No, you've minimized the screen. Okay, now we're back. But you didn't go to the Facebook page, though.
Hold on, let me do it again. I'm telling y'all, one day I'm going to be somebody. Let's try it again. Share screen. Share screen. Facebook page. Share. How's that?
There you go.
All right.
There you go.
All right, so there you have it. So this is the Facebook page. So all you beauty professionals out here, please go over to the Facebook, the Relaxer Advocates page, and make sure you become a fan of this page because this is where Cheryl is going to be putting a lot of information to help us as a collective begin to understand what our role could be, right, Cheryl, in this relaxer situation here. Okay, so that's definitely one of those current events that we need you guys to know about. So let's go ahead on, and we want to hop into the topic about relaxers. So before we hop into our first phase of it, which is the economic juggernaut, this podcast tonight, we have three points that we're going to talk about with the relaxer. The first is the economic juggernaut that the Black hair care industry, or as Cheryl calls it, the complex, played in the economy right here in America and around the world. I guess we should say that too. And then number two, we're going to move right on over to the whole, the legal claims. What is this that they are saying about the relaxers? Where is the lie in the lie? The lie about the lie. And then at the end, we're going to talk about Dr. Morrow's contribution to reimagining, I stole that word from Cheryl too, reimagining the relaxer with the California green. And so so these 3 points, again, let me just go back over them. Number one, we're going to go ahead on and talk about this economic juggernaut. And then two, we're going to talk about the relaxer itself and the culture that we as African Americans have contributed to this, this little landscape here. But we're always accused every time we pull out this stuff. You know what they say, Cheryl, right? Y'all just trying to acculturate. So is this acculturation? What is this? Is this cancer in a tub? Is there a difference? I know what some of you guys are going to say. Well, that's the professional one, but this company was definitely named in the lawsuit. Triple Nourish Silkening Relaxer by Dark and Lovely. I grew up with Dark and Lovely, so we'll talk about that. And then again, we're going to conclude with Dr. Morrow's reimagining of the relaxer, and that is the California green. Of course, have all of your questions ready. Drop them in the chat. This is going to be good. You like my glasses? I got these from the swap meet at in Baltimore. So I was trying to look cool. I'm tired of Cheryl getting all the play. So I thought I just might try to, ante up my game instead of using my brother's readers because he keep getting mad. Where my readers at? I'll be leaving them all around the salon. All right. So let's hop right into it. The economic juggernaut. I do have videos to help get the conversation going. I thought this one is by Mr. Bayer Mac. Mac Bayer, or is it? No. It's Bayer Mac. So Bayer Mac, he has a documentary about this very issue. So let's see. Let me make sure I got the right one here. And let's here we go. The juggernaut. Here we go.
African Americans have looked for ways to make their hair longer, straighter, and softer for many years. A natural strand of African hair has a flat shape that easily coils and prevents oil from coating the entire shaft, making it coarse and hard to comb.
All right. So here we began the issue that something about our hair was different. It was difficult to manage. And of course, we're talking about, a little after. I don't know if they were relaxing hair during slavery, but post. We start to see the stretching and the straightening of the hair because per that video, it was difficult to manage. So let's start there because that's the narrative where, to me, in my opinion, where the acculturation narrative began is that after slavery, we were freed, or our ancestors were freed, rather, and then we started trying to fit in and be white. But you say that there's another side to that narrative. So let's get it cracking. Is that true? When we started to, blend and mix, were we really trying to acculturate?
I want to use this opportunity to kind of draw the listener, the viewer, to something a lot more psychological, damaging versus the racist issue. But if you would hear, because we're reading this book called Brainwash, I think on
Thursdays. Tom Burrell's, yes.
Yeah. One of the things that you guys have heard me say that is so important, especially as professionals and beauty professionals, cosmetology as a whole, the way we speak about Black people, Blackness, Black essence, the Black body, Black image, the way they use words at the time they use them, what story they're telling. Because if I were to tell a story of Black people's hair was hard to comb, but then I don't tell you that Black people were stolen, and then at that point, they don't have any tools to comb their hair, which means that in Africa, maybe was it hard to comb? Like they didn't talk about themselves in that energy. So when we as Black Americans begin to move forward with the idea that, well, who told ourselves that Black hair care or Black hair was hard to do? Black beauty was hard to obtain. Black beauty will always be hard to obtain in a world whose hair is so opposite. And those people who have that hair, every tool is surrounded around that hair. But why do we tell a story about our hair being difficult, or is it just that we don't have the tools? And when you begin to go down and start like that, it doesn't matter what you subsequently think, what we do, how we gather, how we put together our culture. We're going to always say that our hair is difficult, not because we don't have the tools, but we're always juxtaposing our hair against somebody else's hair. And that is at the crux of us starting to talk about ourselves, because we're already starting at a negative. Does
Right,
that make
but I get you. I get you. But you have to remember now, um, it's a group think. It's a group think that African Americans, to me, that we are all individuals, right? We do see ourselves as individuals, but to people on the outside who are always controlling the narrative via the magazines, via the media, even sometimes the music, the radio, you never get to hear the individuality within the culture of African Americans. So when you have these people who get into these spaces and places, and I'm going to say, to me, the scholarly community is where I think a lot of this could be just stamped out. They don't really, they don't report it, that we have this individuality. Like Sandra says in the chat, she doesn't think our ancestors were trying to be white. I think we're being told that, so we're saying that. But I just personally feel that a lot of African Americans do not think, because they are doing anything other than wearing their hair as is, they're trying to be something they're not.
it is akin to the geographical environment you are now in? It's just that because God gave us a dominant hair type that can adjust recessively to go straight, instead of us saying that we adapted because the tools were closer to the conducive and conducting a better beauty regimen, instead of saying that, we went to our persona. We started saying bad things about us instead of saying, oh, we just adjusted to the tools that were in the marketplace. So we decided to just straighten our hair because Afro curly hair is dominant and it can do that. We just decided to adjust the style application to
But
meet.
how is it that? And I know I'm not trying, but I'm just coming after you because you saying it. But how is it that no one has caught that in all? I mean, we're talking about from 18, you fill in the blank, till uh November the 20th, 2023, and you're the first person to say what you have just said. How do they not deduce your what you extrapolate from what's happening to what we have done to our hair?
Right. Europe had made curling irons. Black people never made curling irons. So they adjusted. All they did was curl, 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 curl. But white women and white men did not wear stringy straight hair until the 70s. It wasn't vogue. You had to wear it coiffed. They call them hippies. You wear long hair, you're downgraded to a vagabond. You had to wear the hair coiffed in body, and permanent waves were vogue in white hair care, to wear your hair curly like it was a Jufro. It wasn't, it was declassé to wear your hair stringy.
I remember that.
Right.
Right.
So my point is, but because of the traumatic experience of not being able to adorn, not being able to culturally align with the environment, not having our set of tools, not having time, not the society and the environment did not produce you moments to beautify oneself, or neither did you, nothing around you, not the employment, not the jobs. They half the employment allowed a uniform of just rags and a head wrap. So there is no environment to create a beauty regimen for Black people unless they were celebrities and athletes.
Right.
But my point is that we don't go to the environment and the set of tools that we didn't have to do Afrocentric hairstyles. Neither did we have time to do Afrocentric hairstyles. We adjusted because the texture allowed us to adjust, and we made hairstyling conducive to the tools that were available, which were European-based hair tools. But instead, trauma allows you to say the self is bad. The self, something must be wrong with me. Now, we had basically, basic scholars at that time that tried to get us to move. But racism, because blackness is always thrown up against whiteness all the time, and because whiteness is a power relationship between people, we said we're trying to be white, and it had nothing to do with that. And that kind of psychological poison, and to repeat a cultural appropriation as if Europeans genetically own straight hair. Like there's no Africans with straight hair.
Right.
And we have to start speaking about ourselves in the terms of blackness that honors us, our beingness, our selfhood, and our economic abilities and ingenuity and innovation. Instead of talking like that, we end up locking ourselves in these racist paradigms that allow us to speak negative. And even if we're black, it doesn't make a difference. We hold on to these sound bites, these colloquialisms, all of this. Well, black people. At the end of the day, you don't understand. Your essence is as old as time. You have the first face. You have the first world texture on the planet. But once you get deprogrammed, and maybe it is a deprogramming, I don't know. But
yeah, it's a deactivation. We definitely need to deactivate the social conscious chip. It has to be deactivated. But you guys know I've never made it a secret that in my entire career, or throughout my entire career, I've always just questioned, when I entered the field of cosmetology, from my initial day in school, I could clearly see that something was very wrong, very troubling in this industry. And so I've spent my entire career, trying to figure it out, and to bring about a resolve that I personally and professionally feel that only education, well, I shouldn't say only, but mainly education could help. So I just want to play a clip for you guys from Ta-Nehisi Coates. Now, it's a little bit over a minute. And so Ta-Nehisi Coates is an esteemed author and journalist. And so this clip that I'm going to play you is about his trip to Gaza and to Israel. This is before the attack sometime in early October. And so I want to play it for you guys because he had the same sentiments that I've had about the beauty industry as to what he saw, what was transpiring between these two places of Israel and Gaza. So here you go. This is just a little backdrop.
And I knew that whatever I was going to see, like I had a sentiment. I couldn't express it like I just expressed it for you right now because obviously I hadn't been there. But I had a sentiment that what I was going to see was not going to be great. And I know that A, because of my upbringing, and I know that B, because of my vocation as a journalist, you can't behold evil and then return and not speak on it. And segregation is evil. There's no way for me as an African American to come back and stand before you to witness segregation and not say anything about it. One of the hardest things was to come back and then to read the rhetoric of certain African American politicians who are defending this regime. And I couldn't understand it. I wanted to know if they had been to Hebron. You know, I wanted to know if they had been to Massasoit, if they had been to Susha, if they had been to Tubat. Had they seen? Have they really seen, you know, what is actually happening here? I don't know how anybody who benefits, who stands on the shoulders of our ancestors' struggle against Jim Crow, against segregation, could see what is happening right now, could see the bombs being dropped, 9,000 people dead, an ungodly number of them children, in service of Jim Crow and segregation, which we have exported, and be okay with that.
Now, I don't know the intricacies between the two nations, so I'm not making a comment about that. But to his point, I don't, in my career, for Cheryl to be the first person to point out that we were just trying to adjust, and to accuse African Americans on a just as a collective of acculturation, I cannot say enough how that just it messes with my head in ways that I just can't imagine, because I don't buy that. Hair Savant has something he wrote in the chat that he says we were trying to be seen as beautiful. We were told that everything about us was ugly. And that, to me, is a narrative that just doesn't fit. And I know you're not saying that, Hair Savant, but that is something that we hear. Like, I never heard that growing up. I was never told. So, but you hear that one, and it's like a brush that every African American had what's the same experience that Hair Savant has had.
What is peculiar, and this is what we call psychoneurosis, psychotic neurosis. You most likely have been told you were ugly by a black person, not by a white person. Most likely. Let's just put that out there. Second, what is the difference between you're trying to look white when a black person is so-called natural? What's the difference between that person telling you you're ugly? What is the difference between the psychological neurosis of a black person who wants to wear a dashiki, who wants to have an afro or locks or braids, any cultural, any symbolic hairstyle of Africa? What is the difference between that person telling another black person when they want to have a relaxer, a body wave, flat iron, whatever, right? What's the difference?
I'll wait.
Than a black person just saying outright, you're ugly. And I'm going to tell you what the difference is. The difference is entitlement. You think that you're entitled, or you have some, it's the westernized entitlement, because you think, because you're expressing something that is innate culturally because you're black, that you have the Western arrogance to tell somebody else the very same thing that Western powers are integrating Israel and telling Palestine they have no right to do something. It is the arrogance of people telling other people what they should do and how they should express their blackness. Now, the other arrogance on the flip side is that I can say to a person who bleaches their natural hair, and because they don't wear a straight strand, but they wear a nappy strand, but they took the black pigment out, and they still have an arrogance to tell my straight hair that I didn't take the color out. They still have some arrogant superiority because they are closer to blackness. That is still a westernized, racist kind of evil. That's the same evil Ta-Nehisi Coates was talking about. And that is why black natural hair care people or locticians, whoever they are, it doesn't make a difference. I don't give a shit about neither one of them, because all textures are gene expressions and all of them belong to Mother Africa. I don't give a shit who they think they are or they're Pan-African. I don't give a shit. The thing is, it's still a westernized arrogance that there is a hierarchy over, and the whole general statement of blackness is supposed to look one way, this way, that way, this way, that way. And the ones who look closer to what they think they are, it doesn't make a difference. If you are westernized in your thinking when you tell somebody what they should do, because at the end of the day, I can't get rid of my black nose, my black lips, my big eyes, the way my voice sounds. I sound black no matter what. I can't hide it. I still have something in my eyebrows or something. So me changing just the cosmetic shape of my hair strands, how is that logical that I'm trying to be white?
Yeah.
How is that logical?
I think that it's an unspoken monopoly is what I'm hearing you say. You know, on those people who get, they may not be controlling the narrative, but they are the squeaky wheel that gets the attention. Because when you look, if you go on to Netflix and all the other platforms, Prime, and you watch any video about hair, it sounds like Scarface, changing smug faces, It's just the same, the same situation, but it's a different face. It's the same narrative, but it's a different title to a documentary where Black people are saying that they were told they were ugly. I didn't go to school with white kids, so that could be. I see Lawana is in the chat, and she said she went to school and 2 white kids told her that she was ugly. By the time I did go to school with white people, I don't know. Again, we're going to move into the juggernaut of how we address this situation. But I think that
well, let me just say this. When Ta-Nehisi says the harmfulness of segregation, right? And then he's not necessarily just talking about separateness as in terms of compartmentalizing. He is talking about occupation. One occupying another, and then the other one controlling all the resources. Because as I go into this, I'm going to say, how can I be vilified, demonized, criminalized, and defamed by marketing to a customer that I have a cultural affinity for, right?
Right.
People say, who's your market? And I say, I'm going towards younger men. But then later, because you want to either get me out of business, defame me, criminalize me, demonize me, and disenfranchise me, you say I'm purposely marketing to that. But in the business world, you're supposed to market to your demographic. We say all the time on Shark Tank, well, who's your market? Who's your customer? But the language that they're choosing to use now, they're saying they are purposely marketing relaxers to Black women. And if we as an industry built on barbering, they call it beauty culture, or beauty culturists is what they used to call beauticians. They gave shaving. Everything they did on the plantation, we built an industry doing. I'm going to repeat that. Everything we did on the plantation, okay? Think about that. Wine, food, cooking, beauty, shaving, hair cutting, braiding, plaiting, washing, sewing. Every subsequent, and guess who our customers were? We were segregated now. Who was our customers? Black people. So to accuse us as deliberately marketing to Black people, God damn, you just can't win.
You just can't, right. You can't win. So the economic juggernaut, we took all of those services that we did on the plantation and we turned them into multi-million-dollar businesses, right?
Yeah.
And so was it something wrong with that then? Were things happening? Were people getting sick? I know someone could argue they were not researching that situation back then, but in the building of this juggernaut, like in the unfolding of it, right? Was it ever considered like a bad thing that we were making this amount of money with doing it this type of a way, particularly around altering hair? So as these companies, the SB Fullers and all of these other companies began to build.
Well, we were segregated.
Oh.
And because cosmetology distinctively and instinctively made a mistake. They left us alone because there was no education on how to do Afro textured hair. So they couldn't, if they feel, hey, it's not important, let them do it if on their own time. We're not going to build an industry around it. We're just going to, and then you move into the 60s, they didn't embrace the Afro. You move into back into the 50s, they didn't, the depressing curl. They didn't recognize the Black consumer until late 70s. Okay. So there was never any integration point. So all of the cash, all of the enterprise, all of the sales, all of the product offerings were created into something we know today as what? Black hair care. Because the word Black there was meaning that the founders and the people and the entrepreneurs and the industrial complex and who was over every floor of the industrial complex was Black.
Right. Now, within that industrial complex, within the building of these multi-million-dollar corporations, a lot of the attack was not really coming from outside, because you will hear and read a lot of history where Madam C.J. Walker was attacked for being accused of taking people away from their Blackness. So it's almost like we're revisiting this again in modern day times, to your point that a lot of the shame that we're getting is not always from the outside, but it's from the inside. So in that building of this juggernaut, didn't we have some of our very own people who were anti-straightening,
Well, I'm sure there was. But when you are talking about mobilizing a generation to compete on the market, you're still not talking about 1964 yet. You're not talking about 1964 yet. Because you don't have a comb. You don't have any beauty implements to support Afro texture. You don't have any tools to support thick, Afro textured hair, curly. You don't have anything but your fingers and grease to support cornrows, cornrow braiding, plaiting. You don't have anything in the commercial market to go into Montgomery wards and to go into grocery stores to get a comb. You don't have that yet. So to be psychologically damaging and talking to your people like they crazy, talking about who's ugly and who's not, and you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. There is a lot of lack of compassion that we don't have towards each other because we're not playing, we don't understand plantation in a historical human way. We don't understand the plantation in our human development in the Western world.
I'm just struggling with why they ain't never say nothing. I know you like get past it, but I'm just bringing up the point because I know I'm not the only person who has been trying to figure out what the ham sandwich is going on here. We're missing something. Somebody is not saying anything.
Well, the professors in the collegiate arena like to pontificate, make it sophisticated, and make it about, make it a bunch of hogwash. The more they get a master's and a bullshit ass PhD, then they get it all, sophisticated. Want to come up with the fact that what was in your mind and the intrinsities of the hericities and all this bullshit. They like to make it sound, really, high level. But it's about what our people came to the Western and the shores of America. We did not have a toiletry bag. You did not come here with your presence and essence and existence of value. It came with a bill of sale. And the other 20% that was probably free did not have freedom of movement, freedom of access, freedom to go in a store and go to a black. You just heard, Beth Bailey, which is probably one of the most prolific scholars on the subject about the military and the Afro. She says it. You were well into the fucking 70s. Like 71, 72, 73, still dealing with service people, 1968 to 1971 and 72, still just trying to get a comb at the grocery store. So just imagine all of that degrading, that lack of compassion towards each other, all the things that we did not consider, and how psychologically damaging it was.
Right. But it's like, in addition to what you're saying, I think where you guys can take the opportunity right now to do what Sandra is asking you to do, which is this, and I'll be back with my point, because Sandra said, please do this right now. So if you hit that heart button right now, you know what you're doing? You're helping to change the narrative. Because now what we have at the beginning of the podcast is the economic juggernaut, how they were able to take what we did, what our ancestors did on the plantation, and turn it into a multi-million-dollar conglomerate. Billion dollar conglomerate, not for one family, but for multiple, myriad, all different types of hair care companies came out of these plantation practices. And so what we've come to find out right now, whenever you hear anybody saying that we were trying to acculturate, we're going to use a new word. We were trying to adjust. So can we please change the narrative? And when they say, well, how could you say that? You can say, because we did not come here with what? Our toiletry bag. It's just that simple, guys.
Just that simple.
It's just that simple.
And let me just say this. you know, and people and black people who say that, that is a reverse self-hatred. That's not a proclamation of you not representing me appropriately or representing us appropriately. That is a reverse embarrassment. That is a reverse uncomfortability with being okay with being black in the world, you needing extra accessories to symbolize your place in the world. You need an afro to self-identify. You need an afro pick and an afro comb, and you need all of these other superfluous details to make sure that you have and be somebody in the world. It's a self-reverse self-hatred is what you're saying.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
need the daishiki. I need the Black Panther. I need all of these westernized, superior, arrogant entitlements to be able to, express myself. And you should, it's really a psychological, neurotic,
Wow.
psychosomatic trip that Black
Wow.
people put themselves through.
Wow. Wow. And so we move over. Yeah. Reverse self-hatred. That's pretty deep, because in the reversal of the self-hatred, now remember this is what we've done, right? We came out of this situation, and now we're trying to do what? Adjust. We have this economic juggernaut. We've helped boom the economy here in the United States. Excuse me. But now you have a flip reverse where you have, now here they come trying to be like us. So here's a clip. Now we go moving on over to appropriation. What do we call that? Cultural tastemakers. Here we go.
Let's talk about Starla Soloway. At least that's what she goes by on TikTok. Starla is a white girl who decided that she was going to get braids put in her hair. The black community got up in arms about it. Leftists on the internet got up in arms about it. They said, Starla, you are committing an act of cultural appropriation. Do not put braids in your hair. We hope all of your hair falls out and that you enter your wig era after this. And unfortunately, that is exactly what happened to Starla. But let's get into her argument for getting braids put in her hair. Here's a video that Starla posted on TikTok.
Everyone that's just so pressed because I have braids and I'm a white girl, I have one question for y'all. Do you believe that cultures should be shared? And if the answer is no, why?
So, there you have it. As we're moving on, we've got to getting close to this relaxer thing. So now you have it. Well, when they do something like us, so now they're trying to appropriate. So we're trying to acculturate, and they're trying to, we're trying to acculturate, and they're trying to appropriate. Is this that college that hire that fancy lingo? Are we just borrowing what she said?
No, it's a bunch of professors giving us stupid ass words and not appropriately talking about, because at the end of the day, Europeans are the children, genetic children of the many people that are on the planet. You can't help but do what daddy and mommy do. That's logical. Europe had braids in Greece. They had braids in Rome. What are they talking about? Black people have a racist sickness and a power struggle with the white power structure. They have to deal with their sickness. They cannot think outside of this racist paradigm. They cannot think out of it. I understand it. I get why you can't have anything. Everything gets, I get it. But you have to understand. You have to look at it from an African perspective. African perspective or Afrocentricity means that we have so much vast wealth in social, culture, minerals, richness, money, wealth, human capital. We can share it and it won't be a drop in the bucket. You have to get out of the Western way of thinking that I have to own something because there is not enough. I don't have enough. There won't be enough. So we got to control resources. That's what Ta-Nehisi Coates was talking about. We don't have enough. So we're going to take it and then we'll disperse it to everybody else. And there's one way to be. And you guys are, and then that creates people who are at the bottom or under suffering or oppressed or suppressed or compressed. It makes them act like crabs in a bucket. They are losing their mind.
But you do have, now come on guys, help me out in the chat. You do have, I wish Kafele was here, because after the Afro Hair Summit, we all went out to dinner. I actually recorded that, but I don't have everybody's permission to show it. But we had a conversation with Cheryl at the dinner table, and it got really heated about this very point. And I don't know if you recall this, Cheryl. You said the same thing. And then Kafele said, I don't want them learning our stuff because they will take it, they will exploit it, they will capitalize on it, and then leave us out.
What you're saying is, I don't have enough love about myself yet to see it reflected on a person who has oppressed me.
Sure, you a bad motherfucker. I'm sorry, y'all. Excuse me.
So when I see it on you, you have not only the blackness, now you have white power. And I don't want you having that. And I don't want you to feel how it feels to have braids and that kind of pride, because I don't have what you have. That's what we're saying. And it's okay. You just got to know that you're saying that. And black people don't know they're saying it. They're crying, they're complaining, they're screaming, and what they understand, how fucking dare you have white power to go around wearing my black shit. I be goddamn, damn, you want every fucking thing. That's what we're saying. They know damn well that Africa been here so goddamn long that at the goddamn little trickle of piece of time that we're in now, white folk was gonna end up stealing some of their shit. I mean, really. I would do it too. You go down and you read Jeffrey Jones when white people or European brothers and sisters and other people went down sailing into Africa. They stole everything. I would when you had the shit going on in Europe. They didn't have anything. They went down and stole your food. They went and stole your culture. They went and stole your harps. They went and stole your music. Yeah. They learned how to wash their ass. They learned how to have plumbing and aggregation and water aggregation. Yeah. They learned how to have some froze, and they wore that shit for years in them wigs and shit. Now, my point is, in saying that, we have to get to a place where we're going to have to say, we love our stuff so much that we have to share it. Now, wow. The hard part is that when we are oppressed, that is what doesn't allow us to kind of say it, because we don't enjoy what they enjoy, and then they want to wear our shit on top of it. It's almost like an insult to injury. And so we just have to go, the sickness, the Western arrogance has gotten in us. That's the problem. And it just doesn't gel with our Afro ethos. We try to use it with the Afro. It just sounds stupid. Us being discriminative in some locks. Sometimes it just doesn't work, and we know it don't work. Friends of Liberty is Friends of Liberty. That is Afrocentricity. Now wow. We can't just pick and choose, and that is what the Western psycho neurosis does to us.
Anybody agreeing with that? Drop a yes in the chat. Do you agree that we can and we do love ourselves enough to share. Drop that in the chat if you are agreeing with Cheryl's point. If you are watching this post alive, give us right now, give us your feedback. I've never heard it put like that before, but I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for anybody else. I've been a little guilty of that, but I've not wanted to feel that way. I've not wanted to hold on to it. I believe that there is enough to go around. I just feel it. I'm telling you, I'm not very, I don't have all the double digits. I'm not a six figure, you're just a chicker. You know what I'm saying? But I believe that there is enough. I don't think I own all of the beauty. Oh God, I could just go on for days, but I think that this is something that we all, we could profess, that we do love ourselves enough to share whatever. So, okay, everybody is in the chat saying it was kind of they struggling here, Cheryl. You asked us to.
Well, let me just say this, and they should struggle.
Okay,
I understand. You guys have heard so much bullshit, Black Power rhetoric, so much that the shit almost makes you sick with anger. And it fills your mind with a false sense of pride. That's a Western arrogance. That is not Afrocentric, really true internal pride.
It's not. Here's Hair Savant. He said, okay, Cheryl, there is enough to share. It's the issue of feeling like once we do it, and this is what Kafele was saying, it will be taken away. So
Okay.
how do we grapple?
I would ask Mr. Hair Savant because he's a bright man. And
I second that.
Absolutely. And Kafele too. These are
I second that.
Now,
I second that.
I want y'all to tell me, take it where? Tell me. Express yourself. Where are they going to take it?
Okay, come on, y'all. I love their therapy, if you know what I mean. Wow, this is a struggle. Okay. This is why this is America's favorite, and I do mean favorite, podcast about Afro hair. You ain't getting this nowhere.
I want to hear from my men only. Where are they going to take it?
Okay, we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait for Hair Savant. I'm almost feeling like we ain't got no tissue in the audience because I feel like some stuff is coming up out of me. Because we're waiting for Hair Savant to respond to where to take it to. Oh, come through, Jesus. Here we go. DMC and DJ run. Run, diddy, dum, diddy, run to the bank. This is what, again, I wish, let me see if I can get Kafele to get in the chat. It's all going to move to the next point. He said to the bank, Cheryl, they're going to take our stuff to the bank and they will sell our heritage back to us, which is the perfect segue into this, but go ahead on. Here's another one. Hold on. They will take it. A female, I know she said man, but a female says they will make the world think they started it all. And then our newest welcome makeup boutique says with interest. So it's all about the Benjamins. All right, come on. Aisha said, well, there it is, Cheryl. Come on. What do you got to say? It's all about the Benjamins, baby. They're going to take it to the bank and to try to sell it back to us.
And now, I'm going to give you guys a good example. All right? And I'm going to give you a good example. So, we have the number one cosmetic in the world, right? It's shea butter. Right now. Okay? Right now, Who plants it?
Africans.
Okay. Who cultivates it?
Africans. Come on, y'all, drop it in the chat.
Who manufactures and turns it from the plant, the seed, and then puts it in a bowl?
Africans.
Okay. And once it leaves Africa, where do we go?
All different parts around the world, but definitely to America.
Let's just say Africans bring it over.
Yeah,
right.
Africans bring it over.
Right. So in other words, where was our stuff before it got to the bank? You said they're going to take it away and then take it into the bank. Where was it when they got it from us?
It was in Africa.
No, it's here now. It's here in the United States. Okay. White folks ain't went and got it from no hair care from Africa. They ain't got no braids from Africa. We brought the art here. It's here. You said they're going to take it from us. Okay. Where did we have it? Where did we have it? You said they're going to take it from us and take it to the bank.
He said we had it with us.
Right. Okay. Now, what were we doing with it? Black hair care.
What were we?
Yeah, what Black hair care had the grease, the petroleum, all of that. They had the curl, they had relaxer, they had this, they had that, they had this, they had cornrows, they had afros, they had the Afro picks, they had all of that, right? Right?
Right.
Okay. Right?
Right.
Okay. What were we doing with it? They came and struggled and knocked us on top of the head?
Okay. Takita says we were using it.
Oh, that's a very good answer. Now, who's this young lady?
Takita, she works with us here at the Reverence Design Team Hair Salon, the world's best esthetician.
Okay. Now, we were what? Only using it. White people take it and sell it. So don't get mad at them because they know they're in the Western world, the most capitalist society on the planet. Your ass just like to use the shit. And Mr. Morrow told your ass to take the goddamn comb and sell it. He commercialized the first Afro comb. He made a commercial market to make sure that you got one, not just him. That's what we always do. We just want to keep it and don't understand markets. So your ancestors finally took what they were, who they were, the things that they learned, and created markets, created the greatest beauty industry known to modern man. And they sold it. They made it available for their people. You have to put your markets away so there's no entry. They didn't have an entry until 2000 season when the Y2K said, oh, we can just make it at home, and gave the retail market to white folks. They did not take it. You gave it to them. They don't do no culture. They can't come in if the markets are closed, locked down, already saturated. You keep leaving your markets open by inappropriate behavior patterns in the commerce markets. And you're going to do it one more time in the name of natural hair. You're going to give them the relaxer market, because as soon as that shit is taken from you, all of a sudden sodium hydroxide will be safe. And the shit is on EPA, on OSHA, on the FDA, not without a carcinogen. And your stupid ass as Black women are going to go give their money to law firms. They're going to give their data to law firms, and they're going to go back to the research and put those names in and do another grant and steal your shit right from under your nose. In fact, not under your nose, you're going to give it to them.
Booyah! Time to give it to you. See how we do that, guys? This is America's favorite podcast about Afro hair. Now is the time to hit that like button. Now is the time to share this content. Now is the time to help change the narrative. So this was, Cheryl, this was fire. We're going to move right on into the relaxer. So here we go. Here it goes, guys. You guys have heard it once, so a couple seconds won't hurt. Here we go.
A Missouri woman stood outside the Dirksen Federal Building. They allege in a lawsuit filed Friday against 5 companies that the companies' hair relaxers caused the woman's uterine cancer.
I am the first voice of many voices to come that will stand up to these companies and say no more.
Jenny Mitchell says she was 8 years old when she began using relaxer to straighten her hair.
There it is. So now we have everybody's in the chat openly admitting that we sold out. Okay. Hair Savant, there you is. We keep seeking, we keep selling. So here we are. We're at it again. We're now saying that these companies.
And by the way, I want you guys to understand something when you saw that lawsuit. L'Oreal in 1994 acquired Soft Sheen Carson. Soft Sheen Carson and Namaste is the son of Soft Sheen Carson. So black people sold the companies to them, but the relaxer had already had a black female demographic, buyer, customer. You guys do them in the salon. You already had an appetite for Mazzani. You already had an appetite. So to go back and say that L'Oreal did it, L'Oreal is not a brand. It's a company that buys other companies that also has other brands under it. They've only acquired the black hair care brands. They're just doing so. When Attorney Crump says that they are selling and marketing to women of color, it already had a black female and black male market because they were black people.
Well, Hair Savant says he remembers that press release because she made a press release with a relaxer in her hair. So Cheryl, they say, oh, that's nice. People in the chat watching this post live during the live, maybe they're afraid to say it. It's true, Cheryl, but you have not addressed that there is a study that says this Dark and Lovely has a ingredient called folate that
no, it don't.
Now I'm looking at the ingredients, and I'm gonna tell y'all right now, it's not in there. It's got paraffinium, mineral oil, guanidine, carbonate, lanolin, bitumen, methylphosphate, polyquaternium, coca, propofol, perfume, fragrance, propylene.
Absolutely.
It's not. It's not in there. Okay, I know what you're gonna say, but that's an over the counter. So what do you say to people who say maybe it's an over the counter because professional relaxers don't have that in it either? So where is how is this?
I told you the study has not drawn any ingredients in the relaxers that actually have the problem because they're not doing it. Now, I want you black folks. Now, one thing that black folks didn't say, now I'm going to draw your attention to. When you guys say they're going to take something, I want you guys to understand they're not literally going to take it. They're just going to do what you're not willing to do. They're going to take it to the market. However, this is the bait and switch. You ready?
This is the lie on lie. Here we go.
It's look over here and say, look here, and see, I'm screwing you here. Look here, though. Look here, right? Because you have to understand, and I gave Ladosha a couple of things to show you.
Okay,
right?
which one we're going to? Let me know when to go to it.
It is which ones? Because
I have straightening risk side effects, and then I have cosmetic safety community. That's the one you want?
Yeah.
All right, so here we go, guys. Here is the lie on lie. It's being revealed, and don't forget you can visit the Relaxer Advocates on Facebook, and please become an advocate. I'm going to share the screen, and so here we go, right here. Can you guys see that, Cheryl?
Yeah. Okay. I really can't say it all that well, but anyway.
So here on this document here, this is the action from Miss Shakowski, and so and she's in the and all this good stuff. And so let me just read this right quick since you can't see it. So the full title is to amend Public Health Service Act with respect to cosmetic safety, with emphasis on communities of color and professional salon workers, and for other purposes. What are they saying here?
Now, I want you guys to really pay attention to something, right? When the government creates, like California, 2008, okay, 2013, 2018, 2023.
Here it is, guys, 2023. Here's where she's at.
Okay, now, that Professional Salon Workers Act, when you do a bill to remedy some of the solutions to do public advocacy, they set aside monies for, say it, Ladosha?
Research.
And they put grants out for, and guess who eats up most of the grants?
Not hairstylists.
Right. National Institute of Health. They eat up. Now, the grant money is taxpayers' dollars. The taxpayer dollars went to National Institute of Health to do a research that comes out and now says private sector companies, which tax dollars paid for that junk research. Now, attorneys in their private sector are now going to ruin your private sector industry with public tax dollars, because the money came from to do the research in the first place that came out against Relaxer and made it, and said that it is connected to that. It just goes to show you, when you follow the money is taxpayer dollars used by politicians to set aside for research. National institution goes get $200,000 to $300,000 for the research, and
there you go, guys.
Then you come out. So now you guys see how these junk research, how they get paid for, and then all of the principal researchers like Miss Stephanie that came out with the cancer studies, also helped by Sister Studies, which is a nonprofit. They got some of your taxpayer dollars in the grant to do the very thing that we're fighting for now.
All right, and this bill that she's talking about, sorry, Cheryl, just so they can know, is the cosmetic safety for communities of Color and Professional Salon Workers Act of 2023. We cannot make this stuff up. She's showing you guys right there. You guys, if you want the link, I will. Let me see if I can copy that link right quick. And I'll just go ahead and drop it in the chat just in case y'all think, as Cheryl say, don't cook it up, right? Look it up. So I'm going to drop it in the chat so that you can see it for yourself. There's something bigger that's going on here, guys. So here's the link. There you have it. What's up, Rafika? That's right. We bringing the receipts. We are bringing the receipts. So now we see that they're taking taxpayers' dollars to create funds to really help, supposedly to help us, but we're not writing for those dollars. The National Institute of Health is writing for those dollars, and then you have law firms who are also recipients of those dollars because what they're doing. They are, when you type in, when you go to the site and say you want to know about this relaxer, can you get some money? As soon as you type your information in, guess what? It goes to where? Research. So, because they know we're not going to volunteer. Anybody in the chat volunteer to be a subject to see if relaxer gave you cancer? By show of hands, either post the live and join the live. Have you participated in the research? Now, I know you guys are going to say no. So they said, no problem. We're going to create this campaign about the relaxers. We're going to get you guys to voluntarily give up your information, and then we'll use that for research.
Right. And it's going to solidify what they're saying about these correlations, because the more people they get in, and then Attorney Crump goes around the country and meets at all these law firms and say, I'm going to give you a piece of business, because, you know, he's a champion of the law, right? So now he goes on this tour and he created something called Shades of Mass. Shades of Mass. Mass.
Can you spell that? Shades
of Mass. M-A-S-S. M-A-S-S. Shades of Mass.
Shades of Mass.
Okay. Now, what is mass? What do you mean by mass? Mass tort means, in other words, it is a term that's called class action suits. It is people who have basically the same outcomes that join each other, and they are joined in a lawsuit against someone else. That's what mass tort.
Here you go, guys. There it is. Say it. Talk it, Cheryl. Here go the receipts, y'all.
So Shades of Mass is a something that Attorney Crump is guaranteeing that he wants to start to bind Black attorneys and attorneys of color, and he wants to instantly give them litigation law. So he created this relaxer litigation law, and that's why
Here it is, Cheryl. Let me pause you. Watch on demand to learn more about hair relaxers and the dangers to minority women. Ooh, these young Black attorneys is sucking this up. Here it is. Yet very few Black.
I don't want to hear shit about no white folks. I don't want to hear nothing about, because guess who's about to take the candy? There is not one EPA, OSHA, CDC, or FDA link to carcinogen with sodium hydroxide. But these freaks are going to take the candy. It's going to be like taking candy from a baby, because Black hairstylists and cosmetologists are going to sit back and let them do it. We have an announcement that's going to stop them. The key here is that Black people are going to give it to white people.
And this reads foxy. Communities of color are disproportionately hurt by corporate misconduct involving product defects, device malfunctions, and environmental hazards. So this man is on the BALL. Ben Crump, he ain't messing around with his Black attorneys. He is creating a broad spectrum of practice by including this relaxer litigation into their fold of being able to offer legal services to minority law people. And so we, the consumers, are at it. So this is absolutely
let me just go into it. I know we are on, I got to go in about 10 minutes.
Okay,
Let me just say this, and I know we wanted to go into California Green, but let me just say this. The reason why Ladosha and I decided to go ahead and change a Facebook page that we had called Beauty Ethnica, we changed it to the Relaxer Advocates because I am determined to do the very same thing that Attorney Benjamin Crump is doing. And I want to make sure that you guys know that I am committed to making you guys expert witnesses. Expert witnesses get paid from $80 to $150 to $500 an hour, because one of the things I want to make sure that I connect with these companies to make these attorneys take these cases to trial, to be able to now go across the country and tell Black hairstylists who want to elevate their scholar, I will make sure that they are professional beauty collaborative of expert witnesses to make sure that they can sit and get paid to sit there hours upon hours, thousands and thousands of dollars to be experts. And we are devoted, the Ladosha and I, to this, because he wants to make sure that he enriches and enlaces the pockets of Black attorneys to make them go across the country and around the world to defame and demean and to criminalize Black hair care, because he wants to lace the pockets of the legal field. Well, I'm going to do it in answer to the cosmetology field and make you guys experts to be able to make sure that these companies do not settle, push them to trial, and kick their ass. And then you guys
show us how the burn on the scalp and the pelates and all the other formaldehyde, and that's not it. Remember now, this is stuff that they're saying that are in relaxers. We're going to do part 2. We're going to pick it up starting with the relaxers again next Monday again. And so we want them to, show us the receipts, because we have a receipt right here. As we wrap this up right quick, let me just show you our receipt, because I think Keys 107 is in the house. What's up? We're so happy to see you here. We have a receipt that says the study had no information on the individual brand. So how they come up with these, I don't know, because the study said y'all not going to sue us because we didn't say those names. Thus, we are unable to provide insight as to the specific mechanisms by which hair relaxers could have influenced risk. Now, we have put this link in the chat. I will do it again, post it live, because Cheryl has to go. But before she goes, I want to show you guys a clip, because remember, on December the 7th, on Tuesday, we are going to be showing the documentary, The Narrative. So we want you guys to join us. But here is an old a clip that we thought we might use.
Join us Tuesday, December the 5th at 7 p.m. for the Narrative Watch Party.
Highly coiled hair is difficult as opposed or relative to what?
I guess white people's hair.
Well, there we go again. Why does there always have to be an opposite for us to solve our own problem?
Okay, this man here's got an afro. This is an afro right here. Or somewhat of an afro. It's not big, no. But they want us to wear skin head, what they call it, high and tight.
American people have been for years told that the military leads the nation in breaking down and eliminating all vestiges of segregation.
But it should have been brought up that you're going to discriminate against somebody about their afro because society models the military. They have already done it.
I think there's also a tremendous historical ignorance, because I think a lot of U.S. leaders have no clue as to modern history.
The Narrative documentary.
All right. So there you have it. That's another snippet of some concepts that we had for the documentary, the narrative. It is centered around the plight of Afro hair by way of Dr. Willie Morrow's efforts to really help alleviate us of some of these issues that we are dealing with right now. So we're going to come back next Monday with part 2. We're going to pick up from the relaxers. Again, if you guys could please share the content and stay tuned. We have more to share with you guys about our active role in being advocates for the relaxers. So if you have a relaxer, if you want to put one in your hair, if you're a cosmetologist, the barber, and you want to use any chemicals and you just need some support, Cheryl and I and some of the people, because everybody didn't say they were for it, right here on America's favorite podcast about Afro hair, this is where you can come to get some support, because we have just learned that we can love ourselves as authentic Black folks or Africans, and we can do what, guys? Share. All right, this was a wonderful. Go ahead.
Do you want to announce that you will be in San Diego December 13th for a huge
I mean, I wasn't going to say nothing, but since we got a few more minutes now, we are going to ascend upon San Diego, California on Wednesday, December the 13th. Cheryl is hosting a press conference. I am going to be there. If you, as a consumer or a licensed professionals, of course, the more the merrier. Please meet us in California. More details to follow. We are going to do exactly like Jenny Mitchell. She says, I'm going to stand up against the people who I feel have harmed me. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to stand up against the people who we feel are harming us. And so together we can unite as a united front. And it is time for us to do this as we as advocates, not only for relaxers, but for the industry. And we commend Cheryl for being so bold. This is a bold move. We're talking about standing up against, I mean, Ben, I don't even want to say his name. But this is a bold move. So if you want to come and join us in San Diego, can they email us, Cheryl?
Absolutely. They can email us directly.
Okay, so email us at Afro. Let me just put this in the banner right quick before we get off of here so you guys can see this. Let me just edit this one right here. So, yeah, here it is. I can show. Sometimes I just love myself. I'm sorry, guys. So here we go. I'm sorry. You can read the ticker. You can email us at afrohairscience.com and say, I advocate for relaxers. So it's not a movement. This is not a movement. We are taking a stance. And so we're not playing around with this because this is for life. You already heard her say he's got an organization. So this is sucker free. Don't come in here playing around, okay? So we're very serious about this. Email us at afrohairscience.com if you would like to meet us in San Diego. That's going to be Wednesday, December the 13th. And it will be well worth it. Tickets are affordable on Southwest. I must say that again. Tickets are very affordable on Southwest to fly into San Diego, California. Okay.
And I'm just going to let you know, I want you guys standing with us and standing with yourselves, standing up for your ancestors, because this is going to go viral. We have all of the stations have RSVP'd, and we're going to throw it down.
All right. All the stations have RSVP'd. I also want to show a picture when we come back, Cheryl. You guys won't believe this, but Garrett Morgan IV, the son, walked into the salon on Saturday to say, though his great grandfather did not, it's not, he didn't contribute much to the relaxer, but as the progenitor, he is very proud of the work that we are doing, standing on the shoulders of giants. So when the legacy comes through the door,
that's what I'm talking
about. I will show you the.
And by the way, please send me my picture with me and of him.
Adam. Yes, okay.
Yes, please do.
So he came through to say to please keep up the good work. And so there you have it, guys. We are doing our best. This is not going to be, easy, but we need you guys' support. So if you want to come on over to San Diego, please email me at afrohairscience.com, and the tickets are cheap on Southwest. Okay, guys, what we say when we're signing out, right? We're always talking about a whole lot of peace, a whole lot of love, and for sure, definitely a whole lot of hair. Okay, y'all pull out y'all stuff. All right, come on now, guys. It's gonna be all right. We gonna be all right. All right, just rub your beautiful bald heads and your bald patches. It's okay. All that's beautiful too, and so are you. Y'all have a good night. You're good, guys.